Yes, thank you for letting us come in today because we do have some urgent information to share with you. We're wanting to talk to the people who are addicted to fear, to tell them that there is something very big coming and happening to them at this moment. And we know because they're so addicted to fear, this will suddenly pique their interest and curiosity because they are constantly wanting to know what they should be fearful of. And so this is it. This is a very important, serious message to them. They should be very, very, very afraid of the inner work that has been squeezed out of them, that they have to deal with and acknowledge and process and work through those experiences and forgive and heal themselves to be able to see things from a bigger perspective. And we're not really mocking the people who are addicted to fear, but it is really those people who are refusing to trust that there is better things and bigger things out there for them. So they're still in that seeking, searching out of that drama, of that fear of what's next, what's going to come and get them, because they're pretty convinced that they're the most unluckiest person on this world where they are constantly exposed to 3D dramas that they just keep attracting and are victims to all of what the worst things of humanity is having to go through right now. And we're really wanting to put a spotlight on those people who are constantly searching out clarification and justification that they aren't good enough, that they shouldn't actually do their inner work because there's just so much that's happening for them. They're completely disempowered to move forward. They just have to suck it up and accept that they're doomed. They're never going to grow. They'll always be in this position because they are powerless, and this is what the world wants for them, and they've just accepted it now. So, as you can see, with that mindset, they will manifest that and more. And you all have experienced going down the garden to eat the worms and wondering when will this stop? When will this stop? These worms are disgusting. When will this stop? Will anyone just pay attention to me while I'm having to force feed myself eating these worms because they're disgusting and gross, and I really want to be done with this? But is enough people noticing that I'm down here in the garden eating all these worms forced by my own hand? Can you just look at me a little bit more? Maybe I should just take some selfie videos of myself crying and eating these worms and hashtag so unlucky. We know that this is for some amusing and laughing and brings laughter and entertainment. But we also know that there are others who are like, I'm literally in the garden eating worms. How dare you mock me? And we say, how dare you not notice that you're the only one feeding yourself the worms? How dare you not notice that you are the one that keeps telling yourself with your mindset that you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough? There is so many reasons and excuses why you have given up on life, and we have not given up on you. So why do you keep persisting and doing your eating of the worms? It is up to you how long you will keep there, sitting there in the mud, eating worms. It could be finishing today or next week or next month if you will. But are you getting the attention that you are seeking? Are you getting all the sympathy and support? And is it really helping and serving you to be doing all of that? And we say potentially not when you stop and look at it, realizing that you're the only one. You've literally walked down to the garden by yourself. You have, with your hands, dug into the soil to find the worms. You've waited for all the people to see you there, to be able to look at you and watch you having this pity party eating worms. And so you're there now wondering, is this really serving me? No one else is doing this to me. Do I want to wipe myself off and stand up and go back inside and start thinking about how, instead of the reaction of going down to the garden, how should I react differently when life gives me a challenging curveball to overcome? While those challenges are heartbreaking at times, while they can trigger you to the core, you have two options: to go down to the garden and eat disgusting worms, hoping that people will notice how much you're self sabotaging your health and your happiness and your um, settlement. You've settled with that way of life because you cannot see the other option, which is to overcome everything that is thrown at you, not to react, knowing that you don't deserve it, knowing that whatever is happening, you are manifesting this in your life because you are seeking out, and it is serving you in some way or form. If you need to have the public outcries and posting eating the garden worms on your social media so people can see you and give sympathy for you and feel so sorry for you. She is such a victim. Did you see herself feeding herself those worms? Oh my gosh. She's just, it's so unfair. Life is so unfair for her. You're trying to convince the world that life is so hard for you, but reality is you are doing this to yourself. You've always been doing this to yourself, because what are you truly doing when you are doing that? What are you really wanting and seeking? Obviously, you don't love yourself enough to realize that you would never go down the garden path in the first place, because you know that doesn't serve you. You were just eating those worms yourself. And that's disgusting. There's no real nutritional value in there. And so instead of having to have that pity party to build yourself up and realize, okay, life is really challenging right now. I have this opportunity where I could go down to the garden, but I will not do that because I'm already in a low, challenging situation. I will not go further and completely be disempowered with that choice. I will do something different. And so some people will take to journaling. Some people will take a walk to a garden instead and look at flowers and feel at peace and ease with the world around them. Depending on what gives you the most joy, you can do so many other things instead of feeling disempowered. Remembering that you're not the only one going through really challenging times right now. And why are so many people going through challenging times right now? Everything is under a pressure cooker. You've got such limited time to explore and enjoy the 3D. So while you're here, making it count, your spiritual teams are hearing you saying, I want to heal myself. I want to be doing all of my inner work. I want to release myself from things that no longer serve me. And so it's not like a magic wand where we can just go abracadabra, done, you're healed, fantastic, you're 5D now. It's about actually presenting with you these challenges that have tripped you up beforehand, and to bring them out now in a more heightened sense for you to master it, overcome it, use your choices to be able to make the most empowered decisions, to be able to honor you and to honor the other people that are involved, and to really take it as a mature approach. This is what people are just noticing quite firmly, that they are having some crazy, incredible, epic experiences that would have previously destroyed them. And they would have taken a whole camping set down to the garden because they'll be there for a few years, because they're not coming out of that for a long time because it is so challenging for them. But right now, you're all experiencing pretty epic things just to make sure you have mastered the 3D of emotions. And sometimes tempting to put on those gumboots and head down to that garden. But before you put on both feet and start, heading down that path, you're realizing, wait a minute, this is what I used to do. This is my old reactions. I am actually not going to waste my energy on this approach anymore. I'm just going to see, and question, what is the purpose of this? What is the experiences that I am supposed to notice before I react? And this is exactly what we have been saying in many sessions beforehand as well, was being able to think and ponder the situation before the emotional reaction, because those emotional reactions are always coming from triggered egos. And so when you are not having to compete against others because you have got so much self-love, you do not need to feel like someone is disempowering you. You have so much confidence in yourself because you love yourself so much. You're not going to buy into the challenges and the dramas of other people's hurt emotions and their unhappiness on their lives, which they're projecting onto you, which is then making you feel like it's a personal attack, because it's never truly is a personal attack. But because you have lack of self-love, you will take it as something you have to be ashamed and embarrassed of because someone's calling you out. But really, it's never truly about you. It's they're merely projecting their own stuff here onto you because they can't look at themselves. Notice how many times people have accused you of certain things when you think it's so ironic, because if they could just hold up a mirror to themselves, they would know exactly what they were accusing you of, and this is their own inner work, but they are not noticing it's their own subconscious leaking out through them to try and hopefully get their attention to notice what they are speaking about, because many people who are accusing others of things are merely talking about themselves, but they're in a state of denial. And so they are putting others down, hoping that they will never have to notice their own inner work. See, humans can be so much fun towards each other when their insecurities are just squeezed out of them and when they don't have their own inner love for themselves. Because happy, loving people do not go around disempowering others for ego trips. And this is very important for you to notice whether someone is coming from an ego trip, who wants to be more special and important because they don't feel that special and important within themselves. Lack of love, once again, is always the true deep core issues here. And so we want you to think of all the last times you have had challenges with people and see if it's truly true what they have accused you of. Is it triggered your ego? Can you be honest to yourself and see what's really going on there? And instead of instantly reacting emotionally, take some time to think about it, and you'll see things from a different perspective. So there is so much that we want to keep helping you with, because so many people are afraid to start loving themselves, because if it looks like they love themselves, then does that mean they've got 3D ego? And heard that's really untrendy to have right now. And we say to you that true pure love and of yourself does not look like ego. It looks like someone who is confident and proud of who they are, knowing that they still have growth and experiences and still more things to explore. The people that have to put down others to levitate themselves, they're very easy to spot. And now that you're also highly intuitive, and you all naturally have been, but you have got less and less and less self-doubt as you have got older and more mature, even in these last few months. You can spot who is trying to sell themselves through their ego, and who is trying to share their balanced emotions to others to try and support humanity. And you can tell who's taking from the collective energetically, and you can tell who is putting energy into the collective. It's so easy. It's not secrets anymore, and you can tell the people who are holding masks to pretend that they are something that they are not. Energetically, you can tell when someone is trying to tell you porkies. So it's very interesting times, and it is still a step challenging for people who are so empathic, that they feel bad when they observe bad people's behavior. And you know that we don't say bad as in the dark evil side of humanity, because that's judgment, and we don't judge, but we're trying to help you in the 3D be able to understand and process people's behaviors and your own behaviors. We understand that so many people keep questioning, well, what we keep hearing you say, what is self-love and what is inner work? And I don't get it. I love myself and I love myself. Why do you keep telling me that I need to love myself? And you do not need to be triggered by us reminding you to love yourself. If you love yourself, you know that intuitively. You don't need to make boast or to convince us. You don't need to convince us of anything. We know exactly everything about you. And we always have, and we always will know everything of what your motives are, whether you are being dishonest with yourself or trying to pull one over us. It is fine. It's cute that you think that you can lie to us when we know exactly what's happening. And that's usually just a sign of you struggling to really come to terms with what is the deep down core. And so we'd like to take this opportunity now to speak to your inner child, because your inner child is always listening. Your inner child is still there with you. And inner child is the very lively spark, that unconditional loving being that is in the core deep of you, that is often ignored. And so we're wanting to speak to the inner child today, because we see you, we feel you. You amuse us and entertain us with your effervescence, and we can see that you're often held back and ignored by the vessels that you're in now, because they're taking life too seriously, because they have tried risks before and they have been told off, because they have been hurt too many times, so they don't want to express themselves. We understand that you're in an older body now that doesn't believe it can dance and make fun of itself and be silly and giggly. We understand that you're still in there. We still see that inner child within you, and it is wanting to be acknowledged today, because it feels lonely. It has no one to play with, because it's feeling abandoned. It's feeling alone. It's feeling like it is not being seen and heard by you. And it has felt like that for many years, from its childhood, from parents, siblings, teachers, friends. And then as you have got older and experienced it, this inner child has become smaller and smaller and has no voice now. And it is time for it to speak to you. It is time for you to hear it. Your inner child wants to be able to express itself, because it's the most innocent, pure essence of you. It is more of your soul spark than your conscious mind, protecting ego, protecting status, and trying to keep with peer pressure. Your inner child says, I would have loved to run naked around the house and not care, and eat ice cream and just have fun and just giggle all the time and laugh and roll around on the floor and just think everything was fun and giggle at farts. And I would just have had so much fun, and I just would want to jump in puddles, and I would just want to run in fields, and I would just want to run and just be free and just feel the wind blowing in my skin. And I just would want to be free and have no limitations. And I thought when I would get older, I would have had fun. I thought I could have done all the fun things that all these adults around my life now would be telling me, no, no, no. And I just thought I had to be patient and wait until I was the adult, and then I would give myself everything. But my own self is not listening to me, and now is the one that is keeping me in a cage. And I want to break free. I want to be honored by my vessel. I want to be able to do the things that gave me joy. And so we are speaking to you all now on behalf of your inner childs that are within you and have always been with you. Remember that child. Remember the things that child loved to do and just wanted to do always and forever. Please acknowledge that inner child. Please remember the things that used to give that inner child, so much joy, so much excitement. And while you think that it may be silly for you to be able to do something like that again, please honor the inner child, because this is a direct way for you to be able to recall your inner joy. The joy that you keep wondering, how am I supposed to find? How am I supposed to have inner love? How am I supposed to love myself? And we're saying, we'll start looking at all parts of you. It's not just about loving the toes and the fingers. It's about loving all of you, including the past you, including the original you, including the higher dimensions of you, It is not just you physically in that body judging this right now. That's just one aspect of you. Think of all of the versions of you. Of course, you used to enjoy coloring in, and maybe you don't enjoy it now because you are mature and grown, but you have to be able to find a way to get back to that inner child, to be able to let it be free. Because every time you have said no to yourself, every time you have said that you can't do X, Y, and Z because you're not good enough, or you don't deserve it, or you can't do this, or you can't do that, you have put more and more and more restrictions on that inner child. And now it's time to be able to look back and see, is there anything that you can do of service for that inner child, to let it be free? Because that inner child is still a part of you. And if you are feeling like there is something that is lonely within you, sad within you, not feeling that joy within you, this is because your inner child is in a box. It is locked away and it wants to come out and play. And it has asked us to be able to communicate with you about this, because there is a disconnect, because you think that you are just this moment in time now. And we're saying time is not linear. And we want you to honor the inner child. You know what you wanted to do as a child, and you know what you were told you couldn't do. Undo those blocks. Remove those limitations. Have no excuses. Appreciate yourself and be able to honor all the things that truly give you joy. And while it may be that you think that we're talking to just the age of the person you are now, we're not. We don't see you as just this one certain age being listening to us now. We see all aspects of you. And it is like the inner child is an inner version of you. And you've forgotten to connect. And we're asking for you to do that now. Because you deserve it. The inner child deserves it. And if sometimes you feel like that inner child wasn't allowed to speak as a child because the parents were not listening or too busy, this is time for you to now speak your voice and to let your inner child talk to you. There's nothing more beautiful than having your inner child speak to you and communicate with you. And if you're worried that you cannot connect in with your inner child, please send it love now. Please tell it. Tell that little version of you that you love it. You thank it for everything that it has helped you to become. And take responsibility of that inner child, because that inner child could be hurting. And how can you profoundly love yourself if you have ignored part of you, a big chunk of you? We say this with so much love because we know that you're all struggling to figure out what the heck's going on with you and why all this stuff that's happening is unresolved. It is in heightened times. The energy on the planet is so intensively beautiful as we see it, because it's bringing up everything to the surface. And it is not just about loving your physical bodies or loving the single person that you are today. It is about loving all versions of yourself. And even if that day where you were a complete asshole to someone because you just were so frustrated, love yourself that day. Love everything about that experience, because you're not an asshole every day. And you grow from that, and it's not nice to feel that way and be that way. And so we're not trying to just look back at the cutesy times. We're wanting you to be really honest with yourself and notice what's coming out. Sometimes when you think that you were the big arsehole that day and can't forgive yourself, you may have forgotten about the other arseholes that were actually all in there, learning how to be arseholes from each other and learning how it wasn't fun to be that way. So we know that this is a crass word, and we know that, we would like to say that there is people here who have never been, in quotation marks, anything but perfect, but not everyone has been perfect every single day of their lives. And it's not because we're trying to pick out things that have been not so fantastic, but this is about being honest, and this is about all being a part of human. You cannot have a fully complete life without being challenged one day emotionally or physically. And so this is really important for you to accept no one can be perfect truly, including yourself. And when you're still trying to hold on to frustrations from other people's behaviors to you, allow them to be human as well. You holding on to frustration and hate of others is only merely poisoning you. So you're having to force yourself to accept that the past is the past, the lessons have been learned, the boundaries have been created, and there is so much for you to be in control and in charge of. It's your responsibility as an adult to be able to do exactly all the healthy things that you're supposed to be doing with no exceptions. And so I would like to also offer you some profound body relaxing healing and some releasing of tensions and pressures that no longer serve you, including the pressure of upgrades that people are experiencing, thinking that there is something wrong with them. There is nothing wrong with you at all. It is merely your body trying to get your attention. If there is pressure on your face, it's because of the upgrades. We want to give you the impression that, say, your pituitary gland is growing and strengthening as it is being hydrated more with lots of water that you are producing, and sorry, lots of water that you are drinking and providing for your body. And so this all of your brain is starting to become more and more healthy, and so it is becoming more enriched and engorged. You are most of you are starting to realize the significance of sugar and removing the sugar from your diets, and noticing how much your brain is starting to function better and how your mind is so much clearer. And so when you're starting to take responsibility of your health, your body is starting to have more upgrades. And so any pressure on your face is coming from the internal out and pushing out. And so many people are assuming it's something else. And it's really just us trying to help encourage your bodies to be able to be more upgraded. So don't have labels. Do not put labels on what you think is happening to your bodies. Do not say to yourself you're sick. Do not say to yourself you have a cold or a flu or sinus or anything that you want to label it as that, because you're giving yourself an easy out into the negative. And we don't want you to start perceiving it to be a negative, remembering that you are so powerful that you control your bodies. Nothing else controls your bodies. You control it. So if you're wanting to produce a body that is sick, keep telling yourself your body is sick and see how quickly you manifest your body being sick. So you do not need to keep being reminded how powerful your mind is. So let's just, if you do want to see how masterful your mind is, tell yourself how much of a happy, healthy body you have. And notice profoundly how quickly you start having a healthy, happy body. Because it is that simple. You have to put genuine intent into the words and make sure that the words that you use have true integrity. We've said this to you before. A sick body is not something you want. You want a healthy body. You're wanting a happy body. You are wanting to have a true impact on your body in the most profoundest ways. And this is another part of you loving yourself. Anything that happens to your body and you think that it is an accident, or unfortunate luck that you just got this cold right now when all this other pressure is happening to you with work life or whatever, it's not a coincidence. You are manifesting that. You are manifesting a time out for yourself. And if you do not do your inner work, and if you do not acknowledge the things your spiritual team need you to do, then yeah, you will get something. If you do not acknowledge your inner work, there will be big things that will come to force this inner work. You cannot run away from it. You cannot hide from it. You cannot ignore it. It will not be silent anymore because of the time that you have with this humanity and this planet right now. It is not possible for you to escape your inner work. And we know the people who are wanting to seize and take responsibility of their inner work, and we're giving it to you gracefully. And we also are slamming pack people who are not doing their inner work, and their spiritual team is wanting them to get a move on. And so this is why they've been feeling so challenged, and why they're having to come and deal with big issues. It's purposeful. unfortunately. Some people do need more of a wake up call than others. And so this is not supposed to terrify you or scare you straight into acknowledging your inner work. Because this is not how we work. We don't want to torment you and threaten you if you don't do your homework or force you to do it. But this is ultimately your life contract. You've written out your life contract of what you want to experience. You know that you can handle this. You wanted to handle this and experience this, and we're merely just providing that service for you. So, once again, don't feel like you're being a victim to humanity or this lifetime, because you're merely just living out what you wanted, your expectations on yourself. Sometimes you feel like, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. And we want to say to you, using the analogy of a pregnant woman who is exhausted from giving birth and she just doesn't think she can make those last few pushes because she's exhausted. She has been laboring for 35, we want to say, years, just for exaggeration point of view. But add now the age you are in this lifetime and add on a few more lifetimes. And that's how long you've been in labor for. And you're pretty exhausted, aren't you? And we understand that. And so you're trying to convince the room of midwives that you just can't do it. You just can't push anymore. And all your midwives know you totally can. And this is just, doubt creeping in and exhaustion and all that sort of stuff. So we want to be your spiritual midwives for the new earth and for this shift and for your inner work. And this is why we're really giving you the tough love and yelling in your face, one more push, you can do it. And so we're using the analogy of going down the garden and eating worms just because some of you have almost wanted to give up because it just seems too tough. And yes, this extra bonus months that you're experiencing is the extreme version of this life's game right now. And it's really squeezing out all of the dregs of everything that has been lingering on and unresolved in your 3D. And so the faster you can master these emotions, the faster you can master your reactions to things, the quicker you will be able to just give birth and rest and recover. And congratulations, it's a very healthy new planet. And congratulations, humanity is all going to be in a better placement for it. I think sometimes, we think sometimes you forget that what is this all purposeful for? Not only is it for the advancement of your soul and all of the versions of yourself gaining all that this information and experiences, you're also giving to the collective the energy and the experiences that you're doing, and also giving to source all the information and experiences that you are experiencing and feeling in this lifetime and all the other lifetimes you've ever lived. Plus, you're preparing yourselves for the big evolution jump to new earth. And so everything you're experiencing is all purposeful and is so important for the biggest picture of things and the bigger perspective of the shift from the 3D to the 5D, knowing exactly what it is. We have been very open and honest with you about what it is. And we understand that this is a huge leap in your mindset to even accept and comprehend what this big shift actually is all about to occur and what that all looks like. It is very tremendous to process all of that, still being in 3D, still having ego, and still trying to have ordinary lives while trying to process everything that we're telling you in advancements to prepare for. So when you are on the new earth, you can run easily, knowing what has happened and occurred. This is not an accident that you have learned and discovered this information. It is purposeful. It is part of your life contract. The fact that you keep listening to these messages from us is clarification and confirmation to you that this is what you'll be doing. And on the new earth, you will be organizing and helping humanity as they are having to understand everything that's gone on. And it's going to be a little bit disorientating for them. And so you are having to help them understand this massive quantum shift in physicality and spirituality and mentality and everything. As you know, it is not just a state of conscious mind shift. It is profound. But as we keep saying to you as well, as soon as you reach the new earth, you will realize that this labor of love is a rescue mission for humanity. It is for freedom, profound freedom. And it is of great honor and service that you have done this for humanity to be able to help them. And this is the reason why your spiritual team is squeezing out every last little bit of the 3D that you need to master. It's all purposeful. So never forget, in the darkest times when you're feeling very triggered and totally getting those gumboots on to run down to that garden, understand that there is no judgment from us, but we are wanting you to be able to be prepared as fast as you can, to be able to use your logic and not react in emotions, and to be able to process this and see where you normally would have been triggered. So we want to be able to offer profound relaxation and healing, and to be able to release all the worries that you have in your minds, because the 3D game still is playing, and sometimes you're dipping into more of the drama than needs to be. And we're not judging you for this, but remembering the more you want to go deep into the 3D, the more you'll feel it and react to it. And so sometimes it's important for you to go and immerse yourself in the 3D because you're still needing to master some of those feelings. But if you're feeling exhausted, like I've learned this before, why am I still here? Why is there this cycle happening? It is because you have not accepted that your reactions are keeping you there. Changing your reactions, changing your behavior and attitude to things will be tremendously different and breaking the cycles. So we would like you just to get comfortable in your seat and take big, deep breaths in, and allowing the room that you're in to be flooded with bright gold light. And this is all of your spiritual team around you today. They're always around you, but we're wanting you to feel them. We're wanting you to close your eyes and imagine this bright light is so intensive around you. It sparkles. It's shimmering. It's so high vibrational. It's almost electric. And allow yourself just to relax into this beautiful spa treatment of golden love from us to give to you today. And feel the effervescence, the sparkliness of the light around you. Because we're going to put a little pressurized love bubble over you today, because you need it. Because there's been so much going on emotionally and physically. We're wanting you to just relax as you sit, deeply relax, making sure there's no tensions in the body, and allowing the breath just to flow naturally with no problems. Just really allow yourself to sink deeply into the seat, wherever you're sitting or laying, and just allow this light to flood, and imagine yourself being translucent, and there is no barriers, and all of the light can go completely through you. And this is a very high vibrational healing energy light that is completely surrounding you and nurturing all cells in the body. Deep, deep conditioning of all the cells in your body, and letting all of the muscles in your body be completely relaxed as all of the cells in your body are being flooded with this beautiful golden light. And just imagine yourself in a big bath of this golden light. Every cell in your body is just a sponge to this golden light. And you may notice your body swaying or swirling or just absorbing this light energy from us. And this is because you want to be healed. You want to release all that no longer serves you. And we are helping you today by being able to give you this time to be able to enjoy and accept our love and gift to you as you surrender all of the things that no longer serve you. And just notice how you feel. Just notice where you feel the energy. Is it more intensive in one part or another? What are the sensations that you're noticing as you allow this energy to come through you today? And remembering that you can allow this energy to come through any time and any day. You may want to ask us to come and flood this beautiful light of energy around you, just as you're snuggling down, just before you have a nice nap or a nice sleep. And this energy is for you always. And whenever you need to be surrounded and nourished by this golden light energy, it is always there for you to replenish and to release. And as you are enjoying this profound healing today, we would like to send out profound love and healing to all the other people in your life, all the people that you've ever met in this lifetime, and all the other lifetimes you have ever lived. And we are offering profound love and healing to all you have ever met this lifetime and all the others. And we are offering them profound healing, and they can release anything that no longer serves them. And they will feel this big, beautiful golden energy around them. And then they will now send out profound, loving energy to all of the people they have ever met in this lifetime and all the other lifetimes they have ever had. And those people will have profound love and healing and be able to release anything that they no longer need. And if there's anything that they have that no longer serves them, they can release that. And the cycle will continue on and on and on. And we're asking all to have profound love and respect of self, and profound love and respect of others, as you're all connected and as you're all sensing that you all have the same range of emotions, and you want to respect yourself and you want to respect others. And there is a beautiful cycle there as it flows on and on and on from one connection to another connection. And the connections are endless and infinite. And we would like to be able to offer that this profound healing not only reaches you now, but all the versions of yourself, including that inner child who wants to be seen today, who wants to be loved today, and who wants to come out and play. We send profound love and healing to all versions of yourself, and for you to see and accept all the experiences that you have had this lifetime have helped form who you are and have given you profound lessons, profound opportunities of experiences. And while none of you are perfect, you are all perfect at the same time. Honor your powerful mind. Honor your powerful body. And we say this with love.